Welcome to This Explainer. Today we're diving into a massive, honestly kind of mind-blowing comparison across borders to look at two absolute giants on the world stage. On one hand, you've got India, this vibrant, pulsing kaleidoscope of ancient traditions, dozens of languages, and literally millennia of history mixed right into its bustling modern streets. And then, on the flip side, sits America, a nation built entirely on that frontier spirit, basically the ultimate global symbol of rapid innovation and individual freedom. What we're doing today is exploring this fascinating contrast. We're looking at a culture that fiercely protects the collective family as its greatest strength, right alongside another culture that prizes individual self-determination above pretty much everything else.
So you gotta wonder, just how much difference is there really between these two cultures? Well, when you strip away the stereotypes and look at the actual daily rhythms of life, the contrasts are deep, but they're also surprisingly complementary. We're going to take a totally objective, impartial look at 10 major differences that define what it means to live in these two distinct hemispheres. Now, we aren't here to pick a winner, not at all. We just want to unpack the psychological and sociological divides between traditional collectivism and modern individualism. Let's dive right in.
Here is our roadmap for today. We'll start with family, marriage, and elders. Then we'll pan out a bit to look at society, festivals, and lifestyle. After that, we'll tackle education and work culture. And finally, we'll wrap up with what we can learn from both of these incredible systems.
All right, let's jump right into section 1. Family, marriage, and elders. This is the real microsphere of daily life.
The home is literally where the contrast hits you first. Picture a bustling, super vibrant household in India. It's incredibly common to find the joint family system in full swing there. We're talking about an environment where grandparents, parents, aunts, uncles, and cousins might all share a single roof, or at least operate as a tightly knit, continuous unit. Major decisions like your career path or financial choices are very often group decisions. Historically, this deep reliance on the community created an amazing safety net of shared resources. Contrast that with America, right? Over there, the nuclear family reigns supreme. A typical household is usually just parents and their kids. The whole American ideal is built on teaching children to be independent, self-reliant, and financially autonomous from a very young age. Success often literally means moving out at 18 to forge your own separate path.
This deep-rooted view of collectivism versus individualism totally transforms how people show respect across generations. In Indian culture, respecting elders is paramount. It's a non-negotiable traditional value. You'll commonly see younger folks physically touching the feet of their elders. And that isn't just some casual greeting. It's a deeply psychological act of surrendering the ego, seeking wisdom, and acknowledging the foundation those elders laid down. Now, the American framework of respect operates on an entirely different wavelength. It's fundamentally rooted in equality. An American kid is taught to look an adult right in the eye and give a firm handshake. It's a gesture that says, hey, you might have more experience, but we share mutual respect and we are fundamentally equals as human beings.
And you know, this foundational difference bleeds right into how folks view marriage. In India, getting married is rarely just a romantic union between two people. It's a massive alliance. It's the merging of two entire families, their social networks, their standing, the whole shebang. Because of that cultural weight, even though love marriages are super common today, arranged marriages are still highly prevalent and deeply trusted. It's parents actively trying to secure the best long-term stability for their kids. Over in America, though, marriage is fiercely individualistic. It is overwhelmingly driven by personal romance, chemistry, and individual preference. Extended family involvement in picking a partner is pretty minimal, because the culture strongly believes your life partner is a choice only you have the right to make.
Moving right along to section 2, society, festivals, and lifestyle. Let's look at public life and culture.
Oh man, when we step outside the home, the sensory differences between these two places just explode. Take the food, for example. India is arguably one of the most gastronomically diverse places on earth. Recipes are like ancient family heirlooms. Imagine the rich aroma of sarson da saag in Punjab, the roasted perfection of litti chokha in Bihar, or a super crisp dosa down south. America, conversely, basically gave the world the efficiency of fast food and the classic weekend barbecue. Burgers, hot dogs, pizza, food for a culture that's always on the move. Wardrobes are wildly different too. Indians proudly wear stunning traditional clothes, like the sari, kurta pajama, or lenga for both daily life and special events. America, on the other hand, gave us the ultimate uniform for casual comfort, blue jeans and t-shirts. And then the celebrations. Indian festivals like Diwali, Holi, and Eid are massive whole neighborhood affairs with shared sweets and colors spilling right into the streets. American holidays like Thanksgiving or Christmas tend to look inward, focusing heavily on private, intimate family dinners.
When it comes to faith, the landscapes really diverge. India is an absolute epicenter of religious diversity. It's a place where you'll find temples, mosques, churches, and gurdwaras all sharing the exact same street. Public expressions of faith are just a daily, inescapable part of the culture. America has a very different historical foundation. While it definitely holds a Christian majority, the ultimate cultural value placed on religion is the constitutional freedom to practice it, or to not practice it at all. In the US, faith is fiercely protected as a private, individual choice rather than a big public spectacle, meaning there's a pretty strict separation between personal belief and public life.
So how exactly do these environments shape a person's core values? Well, India offers this really complex dance where tradition is constantly meeting modernity. You could have an Indian professional working at a cutting-edge global tech firm, but they still feel a profound binding obligation to care for their aging parents and join in on extended community rituals. Ambition is almost always balanced with familial duty. America, meanwhile, is the land of the self-made individual. Its core lifestyle is all about personal freedom and absolute self-reliance. It's a culture that champions mobility, the idea that you can and absolutely should pack up your car and move 3,000 miles across the continent if that's what it takes to manifest your dreams.
Okay, on to Section 3, Education and Work Culture. Let's look at how success and ambition are treated. The pursuit of success in these two nations starts with fundamentally different educational philosophies. In India, education is widely viewed as the most reliable engine for upward mobility. And because of that, it's a real pressure cooker environment. Millions of students study relentlessly to conquer intensely competitive national exams. A student in New Delhi might spend every waking hour trying to secure a top-tier engineering or medical seat, literally carrying the hopes of their entire extended family on their shoulders. The American system favors a much more open-ended, exploratory approach. Grades matter, for sure, but there is a massive emphasis placed on holistic development, practical learning, creativity, and extracurriculars. A high school student in Ohio is actually encouraged to question authority, debate, and tinker in labs. It's a mindset geared toward disruptive innovation rather than just mastering a standardized test. And naturally, these distinct paths feed directly into the corporate world. In India, business is deeply personal. Professional life is thoroughly tied to relationship building. A big business meeting in Mumbai might literally start with an hour of sharing tea and discussing family before anyone even brings up a contract. Trust is built through connection, and teamwork feels almost like a family dynamic. Now, take a flight over to a boardroom in New York, and the culture shifts completely. It's all about strict professionalism, punctuality, and ruthless efficiency. This is the society that actually coined the phrase, "time is money." Small talk is brief, deliverables are precise, and your value is heavily based on productivity metrics. Relationships matter, obviously, but they take a definite backseat to hitting the bottom line.
All right, that brings us to Section 4, Conclusion. What can we actually learn from all this?
At the end of the day, guys, this really isn't a competition. As the saying goes, both countries are simply writing the story of humanity and progress in their own ways. India offers the world this beautiful, sustainable model built on thousands of years of ancient culture, an unshakable emphasis on duty, deep family values, and the comfort of lifelong community support. America, on the other hand, gives us an incredibly electrifying model of boundless innovation, the unapologetic pursuit of personal freedom, and the fundamental belief that you can always reinvent yourself. They act as a vital balance on the global scale, two entirely distinct, rich, and equally valid chapters of the human experience.
So I've got to ask you, which cultural difference impacts you the most? Is it the profound, close-knit family structures and community safety nets you see in India? Or is it that fierce, unbridled independence and innovative spirit of America? Take a second to reflect on what elements from either of these remarkable cultures you might actually want to integrate into your own daily life. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep asking those big questions, keep learning, and I'll catch you next time.